So, Irwyn, you and I have been in pastoral ministry for a while, decades, right? We should know more than we do. Made a lot of mistakes. We've seen a lot of things. And one of the challenging situations that sometimes is presented, someone comes in for counseling, and the question is, when do we refer somebody outside of the church for, let's say, more professional counseling? And actually, this is a good question for you, because you've not only been a pastor for decades, but also your wife is pursuing becoming a professional therapist. So when do we think we need to refer people?
Yeah, it's an important question.
It is.
We've got to recognize our own limits as pastors, right? Very regularly, we'll take a counseling course as we are in seminary, but that does not make us equipped to be professional counselors. And so people are always coming to us for advice, for what we might call counsel. But we need to recognize the limits that we have when someone may be experiencing trauma and distress that requires not just a few sessions. Right. Let's come meet together, let's talk things out, and you recognize, oh, there's some deeper issues here that are going on that are not just around, relational difficulties you might be having, but there's some things that need to be unpacked. One, as a pastor, I typically, even if I've got a master's in divinity and a master's in counseling, I typically, as a pastor, don't actually have the time to do in-depth, one-on-one therapy sessions with a parishioner. And so recognizing that even if I am equipped from an education standpoint, that it might be best to refer that individual or a couple to a professional counselor, and not just kind of tossing them over the wall, as it were, but having a relationship. What we would do is have relationships with Christian counselors in our area and develop even a support relationship where we might actually help pay for the counseling, and have that kind of where we as an elder board or session are still walking alongside our parishioners, and while they are also getting professional counseling, and embracing that as a good, right? That it's not forsaking our duties, it's actually a part of what we're called to do and be as we come alongside folks. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that it used to be, and maybe for understandable reasons, that the church saw a professional therapist as somebody who maybe they were almost against. And in some respects, because sometimes professional therapy from a non-Christian perspective gives advice and counsel that's just completely contrary to Scripture. But seeing the value of this person who might be able to offer wisdom in a complex situation based upon their experience as a counselor or their training, I think can be uniquely helpful. And one thing that we have found is adding into the mix with that particular model a community of people, even assigned community of people who are going to be there in the non-therapy session conversations. And therapists are pretty excited about that. Like, oh yeah, we'd love to have somebody else who's involved to help kind of continue the conversation. And so I think finding the right therapist, knowing when, hey, I need some additional help or additional counsel. And then also I think the really good point you made about the time piece is really critical, because people do need enough time to unpack those complex stories. And we live in an increasingly complex world. And thank God for people who can help us when it feels like, man, we know we could help, but we'd help better if we had somebody else walking alongside us.